Hello everybody, Genghis here and welcome back to, I guess, the next video. It's going to be a clan wars between Omni and WHYOU on Himmelsdorf, really recent, from like 1 day ago, 2 days ago. I didn't catch the live replay, so I will be commentating it and using some map tactic maybe even, or at least some polling to actually commentate like on why and what the tactic and why what we're doing and so on. But we'll get to that in a second. First of all, just want to do some like, I don't know, short announcements, just some stuff I want to say from time to time. Because you always have new viewers and old viewers who go and people who don't watch all the videos and so on. Make sure you check me out on Facebook if you want to, link in the description of every video normally, or at least I try to, at least every recent video. Nothing super special there, but you do get some updates, maybe also about when the next video is. You can message me there. Best place to really make sure I answer you is actually to write me on Facebook, I would say. And that kind of stuff. Link to Twitter is always in the description, although that's not that useful. Please turn off your ad block if you're watching, like for my channel, because it's basically the only way I make revenue. The only other way I used to make revenue is donations over Twitch, which I'm basically not getting any anymore, I guess because I'm not streaming regularly enough. I'm not really complaining about it, I kind of understand it. I am not putting the link of those donations too into the description of my YouTube videos if you want to support me or motivate me to make more videos, especially now that uni is restarting for me, holidays are over. So I'm not going to have as much time at all to waste time on World of Tanks, to say it that way. All you need is a PayPal account, maybe a Twitch account, and all the money goes to me. But just putting that out there. Also, I do want to ask a question what you would think of me doing a Patreon, although I'm not particularly planning on doing that right now. So please answer me that in chat. Otherwise, I hope you've been liking the recent videos, and let's go into this. Oh yeah, one more thing, exactly, what about Autoload? One more thing to say. Omni isn't quite as good as it used to be. Both basically player-wise, they lost a bunch of good wall-hits, me and some others, to inactivity, and not like to magic. As well as a bunch of good players to ESL and to other clans, and mainly to inactivity again. And I don't know, instead of being like top 2 clan, Omni is now more like, I don't really know. I really don't know the number, top whatever. They're still good, but they're not extraordinary anymore. So don't expect right now to see Omni beating Fame with me leading. Just saying, because, you know, answering kind of some YouTube comments and stuff like that, also in that way. Apparently even nowadays, WHYOU, it didn't used to be that way. Yeah, Omni was the top 2 clan, like second best clan in EU for a long time, at least in the, you know, average. WHYOU was definitely worse than Omni, not by much, yeah, but for most, if not all of its existence, except for apparently recently. I don't know if that means the last 2 months or 6 months. WHYOU has become better, and apparently even really good. So apparently WHYOU is favored in this match. Let's look at our setup for a bit, and for that let's let's first pause it here. And then maybe go to map tactic real quick. We have one bat chat, and only one bat chat, right? Yeah, exactly. He does a spotting round like this, and then kind of gets out. You kind of still see one gorilla standing here, right? Both gorillas stand here at the beginning, even on the other side, but mostly this side. And you can basically shoot over / pass a pond, and if you get a bit of good RNG, because gorillas have laser guns, you can get, you know, 2 times the 753 damage on someone driving down here or down here. For example, E100, or even like a 50B or something like that, right? Anything a bit tall. Or a 113 who stupidly, or E5 who stupidly is pointing his gun the wrong way, or even an E5 getting penned in the cupola or turret front. But that's pretty cool. I don't think that happened this game though, sadly. So yeah. We have an E5 back here who can stand either, because the gorillas are going to drive up the hill, yeah? Right after that. Over the back here so they don't get spotted. Perfect. E5 can stand here so you can spot into this road and see in case they're pushing here really early. And you can also see through this window into this corner. And in case he sees anything coming, he can drop back into this corner back here, which is a really good position. Then we have an E3 who's going to go here and cover the 8 line. Let's go into map tactic at this point. Alright, real quick. And then we have 350Bs, 2 Crown Wagons, and 5 T57s. As my team was glad to point out, we have 12 autoloaders. To give you a bit more context even, this was, we had another battle just before. So we had, and it wasn't clear who was going to lead and so on, because Wally didn't know much about Himmelsdorf, and you know, I'm more or less inactive. Anyway, we had like 3 months time, and I was like, I didn't have anything prepared yet, I didn't know I was going to lead this. And, well, it was like, what do you remember? And I was like, I remember doing this once. Well, not quite. We actually used to do this quite often, but it was like completely different tanks. It was Waffles, was 50Bs only, was T57s only, like, apparently even before I joined Omni and stuff, but like, this is, you know, not a very common tactic. So, we have the E5 extending as a hero here. I hope, let me just check. Yes, all good. We have the Batcher doing spotting round. They're probably going towards hill. We have the Griders doing a first shot like this, and then driving up the hill like this. Then we have 2 crown wagons. Everyone else hides here, or maybe even a couple guys here, doesn't really matter. And the 2 crown wagons go up. And that way the 2 crown wagons actually have enough gun depression to work with ridgeline, and they can scare off any spotters, be it back here, you know, be it up here. Really anything. They can't scare up anyone here, but if they're here, they have to kind of hug this, right, to stay safe from the crown wagons. They can't be standing here and stuff like that. Like, crown wagons are really OP for that situation. So once we have that covered, in case they rush you, which is like, no, there's no reason they would, without spotting anything, you can just counter them. But otherwise, we can then drive up. That's what we're going to do. You can take the hill. Basically, the idea is that you can then take a hill with all the autoloaders. You can always come back and defend the E3 because you're here, right? Not too hard. You can just put 2 guerrillas even here, and if they rush him, you can kind of destroy them. Like, it makes it really cost efficient for you, and then put like T-57s here and whatever. So base is like, it's not long-term coverage, right? It's not a camp in that sense, but we have some base defense set up which should gain us some time in case they try to cap rush. Like these are some positions which are really annoying to push, right? And we see them in time normally and stuff like that. With the positions we picked, especially with this and so on. So we have time to rush the hill, take the hill. Then we have 2 guerrillas which are so overpowered at the moment, let's be honest, yeah. I didn't even realize that maybe when I did my TT conversion video, but they're so good at the moment. So we can put them to snipe even from... They can snipe from here all the way into this. They can snipe from more or less all of the hill, depending on how much control we have from here, from back here, from the front here, from front here, from back here, from back here, yeah. You have so many options, you can shoot into so many different positions. They can also shoot from here all the way down this road, you know what I mean. Like, they're just very strong, and they also drive at 60k mage. So we have 2 guerrillas to kind of just shoot everything down. 1E3 to camp here. The crown wagons are really mainly in the tactic to be used here. Otherwise, they're a bit too slow and a bit too bad gun-wise. Like 50B is just so much better, really, yeah. Or a T-57, but in either way. They're really just meant for that. Either we can leave them, for example, if we decide to rotate back, we can leave the crown wagons here, hold down, and they're really, really hard to get pushed into, right? And we can rotate back with the rest, or even leave them here. Or otherwise, just find something for them to do, really. Just have them participate in the rush, yeah? All the 50Bs have to be shooting gold in this tactic, normally, at least, you know, at the beginning, but yeah, for most of the game. 57s should also load heat and crown wagons because you can expect to meet heavies. And if not, it's short range against mediums where heat is also okay if you know how to aim. So, that's that. Let's go back into the game and see a bit how it goes. And see if it actually goes anyway like how we planned, right? I don't know if I said this because I did the first recording and then I realized that I'd been showing only the map tactic, which wasn't so smart. So you see us hiding here, basically, letting the crown wagons poke. The Crest and Sven, that's too hard to understand. But we're meant to be hiding here. Yeah, this was like played 2 days ago or something. Yeah, this is not some old video or old replay. I forgot to record it, basically. That's the main reason for loss of content, really, on this channel, is me forgetting to press record. Or for random replays, or even with Clan Wars replays. The game getting patched when I'm not ready for it, or I can't be bothered to do videos like all at once or whatever. Because obviously I can't like always do the video when I have the replay, right? Anyway, the crown wagons are scaring away the bat chat. I think they bounced like 4 times on the enemy bat chat, which was kind of hilarious. We're driving up really carefully and slowly here. I don't even know why. Oh yes, actually, yes, there's a good reason why. We want to have everyone poke the hill at the same time, right? Even the guerrillas are going to come up, because we started seeing enemy tanks, so normally you could just go up with the 50Bs and 57s, but considering we really see they have enemy tanks up here, that we don't see much down, we're going to really go with everything, guerrillas and batchat included, but then we start getting spotted with the 50Bs and we just decide to go for it, basically. So I go for it. I take a lot of damage, so I'm just going to poke once and fall back, right, and let the next guy take some damage and poke again. And I get ammo rack and batchat actually bounces my side. I actually managed to connect all my shells and the repair ammo rack. And like we take the first, we die at first, yeah, it's not looking good, but I just tell them to like keep pushing forwards. And T-57s just have so much DPM in this kind of situation that they can really, really farm. The E5 spots the I7 farming, right? Running forward, so that's the point of having him standing a bit in the outside here. And then the E5 can go back into his perfect hold down position in the back. The 113 is a one-shot, we're starting to really clear it up here, right? But the score is still 3-5. Eh. The guerrillas do some nice damage, one of them misses. No, I don't even know. I think one of them missed, yeah. But they're rushing with 2 tanks towards our E5. And they're rushing our E3. E3 does nearly get out to E100 on his own, that's pretty good. I think the E5 also does some decent trading. But yeah, that's pretty nice. And we slowly start to actually clear it up on hill, right? The Banshee actually went back down. I think he did one clip on hill, and then decided to go back down and help out the E3. That wasn't even my order. That's some really good play by Lud, actually. If you want to know how you should be playing in the clan wars, yeah, I mean, like, if you're in Fame, obviously you know, but, like, that's the kind of, you know, being smart, using your brain that you expect from every player, but especially Autoloading Banshee players. We're communicating with each other, and they're saying, okay, the T-57s have this, because they're going to reload in time. We should just go back, because they are capping those two guys still, right? They have nice 4 and nice 7 cap, and our Banshot's, oh, not yet a one-shot, but he took a shot for free. But there's, like, some miscommunication going on, so I start going towards the gorilla, and then I think Cress is like, I have him. I don't even remember. But yeah, like, we definitely communicate with the gorilla to go back, because the gorilla does have enough HP to definitely decap once, yeah? He has 1,400 HP, so they need 2 shots. Even with HE, they need 2 shots each to kill him. Plus, we have a bad shot. So together, they might actually decap everybody. And, yeah. By the way, just one thing to point out. I got down to 1 shot, having done, like, 1 shot of damage, right? I took all the damage at the beginning, being, like, one of the first guys who peaked. I still managed to do a 2,369 damage in the end. Thanks to luck, definitely, like, I bounced a bunch and so on. But also just because I at least tried to stay back and you know, conserve my HP and then just peek for single shots later. That's also stuff to do if you want to play an autoloading clan or any tank really. Although that was a bit YOLO. I take a shot for the gorilla or the T-57 heavy. And that's that. I'm not going to show you the damage results of this game, you can see mine. Because reasons. Clan Wars, I don't know. Secrecy, laziness, decide for you. But from what I remember, the T-57s did pretty damn good. The Crown Wagon did pretty much nothing, although that was basically luck and having to push up and stuff like that. The E3 did pretty good. The Gorillas did like okay, or actually pretty good even. And yeah, I think the 5 did like nothing special. The 50Bs basically all died in the first clip, I think, except for me, but I don't even know. So yeah, I hope you really enjoyed this. I don't know, I think this video is pretty great, but if you guys don't enjoy it, please tell me in the comments. Should I do more like this, less like this? Is this better than live recording? Worse? Should I upload both of a video maybe? Should I do only one? Which one? I don't know. Tell me everything in the comments as always, and all the other questions, answer them. I read comments, don't worry. I don't always answer them, but I always read them normally unless there's some bugs. So yeah, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it. Remember to subscribe, like, share, and so on. And see you next time. Bye bye. Okay, so kind of a bit late. I realized that I forgot to really go into the tactic. Like, I got into the beginning of it, but not into what the actual goal of the tactic was, right? I'm not going to tell you how to counter it, by the way. Feel free to put that in the comments, what you think how to counter this. I obviously know. I wouldn't recommend trying this against me. I've tried this often enough to know how to beat this tactic. But maybe I'll give some hints in the comments or so. But basically the idea is that you get the hill. Either they have a lot of stuff on hill, and then you just rush it with all your autoloaders and you instantly kill it, right? And from then on you have like a tank or HP and or both, normally both advantage. And you can either, yeah, you win the game, either by rushing back to base or they're camping and you kill them there, or they're here and they're lost or whatever, it doesn't really matter, right? Like you use your advantage somehow and win. Or they're not on the hill with much or even anything. And in that case you go up very carefully, like either just with, for example, the crown wagons, like either you see they have nothing at all with just the crown wagons, send up the bad shot, proc spot, make sure there's nothing, and then you send up everything, right? Like crown wagons basically scaring them all day with slow down, maybe even one here, and the bad shot poking or something, right? If you see they have like 2-3 tanks, 2 bad shots on the hill, right? Like they have kind of a crossfire of bad shots or something. You can send up just your 350Bs to take the hill, and keep the rest of your tanks unspotted, and that way you take it, force them away even, they run away, they know you have 350Bs on hill, okay. But then all of a sudden actually you have 2 gridders here, and 50Bs are actually already going and so on, right? And basically the idea is that against an enemy which is kind of split up camping, for example, which is actually very common on Himmelsdorf, be it a split up camp like this, or a split up camp completely like this, or even like completely like this, whatever, right? You just roll in with all your autoloaders, so that's all 8, 5 T-57s, 350Bs, actually all 10. Even 11 if you count the Batcha, right? 2 Crown Wagons, 5 T-57s, that's 7, 350Bs, and 1 Batcha. So 11 autoloaders total, yeah, exactly. Batcha possibly not, yeah. And maybe you leave something on hill to snipe or something, yeah. That's also an advantage of the Crown Wagon, if they have optics, for example, even without. They can use this to go and do some spotting, like from the ridges when the guidos are sniping just from the back. At least one of them, for example. But anyway, you just rush down, and you basically catch the first enemies, be it here or be it down here. You just go in, you kill the first three guys, you get reloading, you keep going forward, at least with the 57s, you know, the other guys a bit faster, so they slow down a bit. Kill up this 57s, reload in 20 seconds, so when, you know, the next wave of enemy kind of comes, 57 already reloaded, kill them, then your auto reload, and you just kind of keep going, keep killing everybody. Slash, get an advantage, fall back, reload, and then push or whatever. Also pretty good at capping if you manage to get either the bad shot or the 350Bs into the cap over here, because they're camping like on this side. You can just put like still 8 autoloaders here and like even 2 gridders, right? When they try to cross back, it's just carnage. So that's basically what you're counting on. If they rush your base, it's actually pretty good counter to this, like a full rush with heavies into your base. But it really depends on how fast they are, how fast you are, and if you get the crossfires. If you get a good crossfire setup, you're going to actually tear them apart. But if they're already here, or even in your cap, when you start coming down from the hill, you're going to be lined up and they're just going to shoot you and pen every shot and you're just going to die with everything, right? But if you see it quickly enough with your spotting bat shot, maybe still send just enough to the hill to snipe down from good positions. You take some good downs with your E3 and E5 and Cran Wagons mainly, maybe, right? Wherever they are, I'm not going to, you know, go too deep into the details. And then you have like all your 57s, 50Bs behind, so that when they push around the corners, for example, right, you have everything here or here, or even here, then you can maybe really even destroy that. And yeah, against any kind of also like more aggressive but split up play, that's also what is pretty good against. For example, if they take like, let's say all of this, right, but they also try to take this, so they're playing with maybe more 50Bs, bad shots, 113s, a couple of like slow tanks, kind of maybe one, you know, slow tank here, like also an E3 here, and they have maybe an IS4 here or something like that. Then that can also be pretty good, because you can actually either this group here or even down here or something, you can catch a group. Then you can have shots for the grillers and them crossing back. You just have to spot it with your bat shot basically. Then if you can have spots on this, even that would be great, right? If you manage to get this corner with one guy or something. Stuff like that. So yeah, I'm gonna just annex this to the video. Kind of sorry if it kind of ends and then restart, but I think it's gonna be easier than trying to do a weird kind of cut at this point. I hope it explained the tactic a bit more. Just one tiny last thing. Again, the gridders can shoot from here into your base also, so you can kind of do defense with your autoloaders here and the gridders up here. The Crown Wagons up here maybe. If you see that they have like a really rushy setup somewhere. Okay, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and well, I already said everything like before, so bye bye again.